We're all seeing AI just explode onto the scene. It's changing everything about how we work, how we create, how we talk to each other. But what happens when that incredible, fast-moving technology crashes right into one of the oldest, slowest things we have? Government. The answer is, it could change everything, way more than you might think.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we need a map. And this is it. Right now, we're here in the world of AI, or artificial narrow intelligence. These are the tools we use every day. They're amazing at one thing, but that's it. Pretty soon, we're heading into AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is AI that's basically as smart as a human. But the real subject for today, the thing that changes the whole game, is way out there on the horizon, ASI, or artificial superintelligence. We're talking about an intelligence that is just beyond human comprehension, and that is where things get really wild.
So that brings us to a really simple, kind of personal question. Think about your local city hall, the building, the paperwork, the waiting in line, the whole experience. Is that entire concept just gonna go extinct? Let's dig in.
So, the first big prediction here isn't just about making things a little faster or moving some forms online. No, we're talking about the complete and total disappearance of bureaucracy as we know it.
Just let that sink in for a second. The idea of applying for anything, a permit, a benefit, a license, it just vanishes. The entire act of having to ask the government for something is gone. So how on earth is that even possible?
Well, it's not magic. It's about flipping the whole system on its head. See, right now, our system is reactive. You have to tell it what you need. In an ASI-powered world, it becomes proactive. The system anticipates your needs before you even realize them. Instead of you applying for help, universal basic services are just provided automatically based on real-time data about your life. And when it comes to big decisions, forget about politicians arguing. The ASI can run billions of simulations and find the absolute best policy in a fraction of a second. All the paperwork, all the data entry, it just becomes obsolete.
Okay, so if the old system of control and paperwork basically just evaporates, what's left? What does a government even do? This is where its entire purpose does a complete 180.
And this right here just nails the difference. The old government was about managing people, enforcing rules, being the authority. The new role? It's about optimizing the environment so that humans can thrive. It's about being a partner, a support system. It stops being a ruler and starts being a resource.
Now this is absolutely crucial. While the ASI is handling all the incredibly complex, logical stuff, the whole societal optimization, the humans in administration get to focus on the things you can't code. We're talking about emotional governance, tackling huge problems like loneliness, building real communities, focusing on mental health. And, just as important, they become a cultural breakwater. They're the ones who make sure that our unique local traditions, our languages, our identities don't get steamrolled in the name of pure, cold efficiency.
So this brings up the obvious question, right? What about the people? If the paperwork's gone and an AI is making the tough calls, what happens to all the public servants?
Well, their job doesn't disappear. It gets an upgrade, a massive one. It evolves. You can see the path here, moving away from just clerical work towards something so much more human. The public servant of the future isn't a clerk. They're a philosopher, a mentor, a storyteller for their community.
So what does that new job look like? Well, for one, they're the ethical guardian. The ASI might spit out the most mathematically optimal solution, but the human is there to ask, okay, but is this right? Does this respect human dignity? They're the final moral check. And maybe even more important, they're the meaning translator. They have to take these impossibly complex decisions from the ASI and explain the why to people in a way they can understand, in a way they can trust. That's a job that requires empathy, wisdom, and communication, not data entry.
This chart just lays it all out. The side-by-side contrast is staggering. Look at this. The main task goes from processing applications to providing mental care. Decisions go from being based on politics to being based on real-time simulations. Your contact with the system goes from you actively going to a website to it being a passive, ambient part of your life. Even funding shifts from taxation to ASI-managed resources. The entire pyramid structure we're so used to could dissolve into something completely decentralized. It is a total reinvention.
So when you pull all these threads together, what does it actually feel like to live in this world? Well, it leads to this really powerful metaphor for what government becomes.
It's like air. It's essential. It's everywhere. And you don't even have to think about it. Government is no longer a place you go to or a number you call. It's the social operating system, just running perfectly in the background, making sure everything works.
It's as fundamental and as reliable as safe oxygen or clean water. It's just there.
Which, of course, leaves us with one final and maybe the most important question of all. If our survival, our housing, our health, our resources, if all of that is perfectly optimized for us by a superintelligence, what is left for us to do? What purpose do we find? What meaning do we build for ourselves and for each other? And that is the great challenge and the great opportunity of the world that's coming.